Well, here we are again today. This is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. I hope and pray that this day you're found safe and in the Lord, and you're worshiping in Him and you're following Him. And if you are, why, then you can be happy. You can have real joy in your life, because real joy comes from following the Lord. I'm going to read in Ecclesiastes today, in chapter 3. It says here that for everything there is a season. And we have found that to be true. We're 68 years old now, and we have found there are seasons. There are different seasons. There are seasons of joy in the life of a man, and there are seasons of grief in the life of a man. There are some times that are real good. I look back at the times when I met my wife 48 years ago, and in the flesh, how those times were good, and how innocence was good, and how visiting her and going home and coming back, and how she was on my thoughts. And now I'm older, and I find I'm still with the same woman and still have the same love and passion for her. But also, through the years, I have found out that worldly passion and worldly things are good, but they're not anything like the godly things. Godly things are the important things. Now, you have to have the worldly things because you're still in the flesh. But the godly things is what gives you peace and joy, long-suffering, temperance, meekness, gentleness, kindness, and love down in your heart. Those are the things of God. Those are the things that you need. Now, he said, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Now, this is Solomon. He had asked God for a double dose of wisdom, and God had gave it to him. And knowledge. I don't know how much understanding the man had, that to break the very commandments that he could write would cause him grief and other things. So there's a time to be born, and there is a time to die. There is a time to plant, and there is a time to pluck up that which was planted. There is a time to kill, and there is a time to heal. There is a time to break down, and a time to build up. Now, you know, there was a time in my life when I had done nothing but try to satisfy my body. And while I was doing that, I was building up walls. And those walls I built up around me, I thought were security. To put away money, to do things that would make me comfortable in the flesh. And found out that everything I did to make me comfortable in the flesh made me miserable in the spirit. So we need to make ourselves comfortable in the spirit, and God will make us comfortable in the flesh. So we need to be careful. These walls that we build up, there's a time to tear them down. And now may be the time in your life to tear some walls you've built up down. Give some life to the Lord. Give some credence to God. Get some fear of God in your life, and begin to follow the Lord. Now, I meet many people. Many people, oh, they're good. They're fine. They'll help you. They're decent. They're good people. They've made it well in life and everything. And they've been in church most of their life and everything. But they never, ever really found true salvation. What is true salvation? When it comes from the heart, and it goes throughout the soul, and it gives you, along with that wisdom that Solomon had, and it's with some intelligence. It gives you some intelligence to put with that wisdom, spiritual intelligence. There is a time to weep. There is a time to laugh. There is a time to mourn, and there is a time to dance. Wow! We all go through these times. When we're in the valley and we mourn, and when we're on the mountaintop and we dance. You know something? You need to figure out in your life, just like I've had to, how to divide these times, to get in between them and abide in God and abide in that place to where you neither need to mourn or do you need to dance, but you need to just rest in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of thine heart, or your heart, to enjoy Him, and what you do in the flesh is not so important. And there is a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. There is a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. Now, right now, I've been married 48 years. You know what? I have found that right now, physically, it is a time for a man who has been married a long time to embrace his wife often. Embrace your wife often, mister. And woman, you know something? It wouldn't hurt you to break down and embrace your husband a little bit, too. I have found that ladies, even very nice ladies, very good ladies, they become a stick in the mud when it comes to this matter of being near your husband, and give him a little hug or a little embrace every now and then, and don't just be cumbered about by the dishes and the clothes and the sweeping and the washing and the neighbors and the gossip and the talking and television and the telephone and everything under the sun, and your husband's walking right around you, and he's the one, he needs a little embracing. Now, I know, ladies, it's nice to go down to church and meet a bunch of women, and all you women hug each other and everything, but you need to come home and hug your man a little bit. All right, let's get on. There is a time to get, and there is a time to lose. There is a time to keep, and there is a time to cast away or to throw away. And we need to know when those times are, and what to keep and what to throw away. And there is a time to rend, and there is a time to sow. There is a time to keep silent, and there is a time to speak. Wow, that's a beauty right there. A time to keep silent and a time to speak. Do you know when to keep silent? Do you know when to speak? It's difficult when you want to speak. Sometimes I would love to speak to a person who's a busy person at that period of time, and they really don't have time to speak to you because they're so busy speaking to people, perhaps people they need to speak to, and to build their confidence. If you already have confidence, don't trouble a man who is helping others in their confidence. Let him do what he's doing, and then your time will come when you can speak to him. There is a time to love and a time to hate. There's a time of war and a time of peace. Now, this loving and hating thing is loving the Lord, loving things around you and loving things, and hating the wicked. The Bible said hating even the spot that the garments are spotted with. And I love that when it talks about the spot, the little spot. The spot is what keeps people from going forward. All right. There is a time to love and a time to hate, time of war. Now, what profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboureth? I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men, to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning of the end. From the beginning of the end. Now, God looks at things from the end, goes back